to this guy. So last class, yeah, we began, you know, kind of detailing this guy out a little bit. Let's finish this guy up. Okay. So the thing is, now we've got what I'm gonna probably do is I'm gonna make a duplicate of this, make it a copy. All right, and then I'm actually gonna select this guy. I'm gonna delete this guy because what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna use this as a template for my back, and then I'm just gonna stitch them back together. So what I mean by that is I'm just gonna go back into my spline mode here. I'm just gonna start deleting this because if you see on the reference for the back of this guy, you're gonna see that there is no little, you know, that cut, that hard edge cut that it's got there. It doesn't exist in the back. So what I'm gonna try to do is kind of, you know, try to replicate that. So yeah. Probably just gonna end up deleting that. All right, so we've got our spline here, and you know, if we turn on our bevel for it, you'll see that now we've gotten rid of that. But it also still doesn't have these guys in there. So what we can do is I'm just gonna select these guys. I'm gonna delete these guys and grab these two, delete. And what I'm trying to do now is I'm just gonna pull these guys down like so. Select these, weld them together, then delete them, get them gone, get them out of there. We don't need them. All right. So now let us it's on the right plane. I'm just making sure. Alright, let me freeze this guy back up. Oh, just trying to make sure my reference and stuff is matching pretty closely to what I'm trying to do. So alright, next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw another rectangle in here. Or if you don't want to draw another rectangle and I want to make sure that I've got this guy kind of centered, what I can do is I can just shift drag this guy down like so. Probably drag it somewhere in the middle, and then I can just turn it into an outline. Select it like that, right? Select the outline. I don't know if you guys can see my no board. Let me turn on no board. It's on already. So let's select this middle guy right there, and then we're just gonna do an outline, but I want to make sure I'm outlining it based on the center. That's essentially just gonna create us, give us, you know, a nice. And as you can see, based on the silhouette, there is no place for that. So we're gonna have to, you know, take care of business once again. So I'm just gonna select all these guys right here, delete for sure, and then you can see that this guy just goes straight like that. All right. So you know, this guy is moving along pretty well. I've made sure that it's centered. Now if I go and bevel it, you'll see that this hole already kind of comes with it. It's pretty cool. So, you know, to create ourselves, you know, this little lens part as well, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to select that newly made rectangle for ourselves. And we're going to, we're going to first check a copy. We're going to detach a copy of it. So now, whenever we want, we can use this guy as a screen. So we can just do edit poly like so. So now I've got my little screen here, and if I pull this guy back, you can see that I've got some screen space that I can use. So this guy, I will just let's move this guy back a little bit. All right, you guys can see now how, you know, versatile just using some splines can be to making some of this stuff happen. You know, splines can be very useful if you use them the right way. And you know, now we've got a piece that, in all honesty, if we wanted, we could probably print some of this stuff out. You know, we'd have to make them like airtight or whatever, or watertight. But other than that, they should, you know, these should be something that we could print out if we really wanted to. So let's continue. And this is a 3D print as well, so the idea is there. So you would have to print, you know, maybe print some these parts out separately and then stick them together, or you know, whatever you'd need to do. All right. So now let's go back up here. I've got my little screen in, and the cool thing is this little screen thing is pretty much just this thing anyway, so I'll probably just duplicate that and then draw these little etchy sketchy lines and stuff, and you know, call it a day. So actually, let's just do that right now since we're on it and we can finish this little screen part. I'm just gonna make this a copy of this. Select this guy, hit Alt X, and then actually I'll freeze this selection, freeze the screen part, E, to rotate this guy, rotate it 90 degrees, and I can just scale it in. Actually, what we really need is all of these, shift, drag, make it a copy, same thing, same process, 90 degrees, then I can scale her down like so. All right, scale her down. And now with this one, I can just, whoops, I'll just select the borders, and then I'll create shape from selection, select these guys, and just delete them. And with this guy, I can go back into the line shape now, right? Since we've already created this stuff. You know, pull this guy out like so, one on the keyboard, make sure that they are corners, and actually let's convert this guy to an editable spline. Oops. I'm going to cut this guy out, convert it to an editable spline. All right, one. All right. So now what I want to do, I'm just going to fillet this guy. Just going to pull this guy out, fillet, weld these guys together, and this is when, you know, I would start to do some cleanup of this guy. So I'll delete those guys like so. You know, I'm just doing some general overall kind of cleanup. All right, this guy's a little skinnier too, so you know, it might be just a little easier, you know, in all honesty, to just recreate this guy from scratch. So that's some of the things you'll have to like take into consideration is, all right, what is the reward for doing the task that I'm doing? Is it easier for me to recreate it, or should I just take what I already have and you know, just start moving and pushing and pulling verts around and stuff like that. So you know, these are all things you guys will start having to take into consideration. So so I can just select this guy. I'm just going to scale this guy down because it's super small on this guy. Maybe even do the same for this guy. Just scale them down a little bit. Right, just making it easier on myself. And you know, I'm making big changes, and I don't, you know, I'm not scared to really start grabbing and pushing and pulling verts, and you know, making sure that what I've got is the end result, the product that I really want. You know, so you know, it's one of those things, and I like to show you guys how to do it multiple ways, just so that you guys can't, you know, you guys have a bunch of different ways to kind of really approach this stuff. I'm doing a lot of stuff with splines right now, but you know, and another thing is sometimes simpler is just better. You know, you can just boop, delete all of those, right? And the good thing is, like, well, once I delete it, all those don't exist. I don't have to worry about them anymore. Now I can, you know, I can move my attention to other spots that need it. Since it's a busier, I can affect how it curves around and stuff. So just like that. Alright, so as you guys can see, it's it's just one of those processes. And then I can take these guys again and then just, you know, redo my fillet on them. Set that. Alright, so we've kind of got this guy kind of blocked out and ready to go. And then I can just go ahead and attach these guys to it. Just gonna attach those guys. And it seems now this guy has, see, 3 on the keyboard, and now has like one more little circle right there. Let me see how that translates in the edit poly view. Okay. So I think what it is I need one right here. Let's see what this does. There we go. Alright, so I'm close to it like that. Alright, so maybe what I'll do is I'll scale this guy out a little bit. Scale this guy out just a little bit. And the thing is, you know, these kind of intersect because it's supposed to be runic. It's like a drawing or chalk or something, so that, you know, it's not supposed to be all super perfect like this. So you gotta adjust. Maybe turn these guys into Bezier. Just Bezier. There we go. And then I can. Oops. Just gonna rotate them a little bit. And okay, so now let's draw the rest of these guys out, and yeah. Actually, just And, you know, the thing is, this is another thing where you can probably do this with textures too if you wanted to. You can probably just make a texture of this and have it, you know, in there and have it glow and stuff. So there's just so many different ways to do things, and you know, you just kind of learn which way you like and go for it. So maybe just start attaching some of this stuff. And I'll just throw a circle in there that I'm just going to reuse over and over again. Then attach. 3 on the keyboard to get to my selection tool, and then, you know, just shift dragging. Hit 1 on the keyboard. I'm going to weld these guys together. 3 on the keyboard. Now I'm going to select all these lines, and I'm just going to throw an outline modifier on them. Whoops, I missed one. I missed a line right here. Alright, now what I will do is once again from the center. Whoa, calm down, big boy. There we go. Alright. So now you guys know the process of, you know, then you just want to trim this stuff up. Just want to trim it up. Make sure I weld these before I move on. Weld. Weld. Yeah, sometimes you have to switch up the order that you're clipping things in so that you get the right you get the right thing to trim out. I don't know why that is. Sometimes it's like based on the order that you trim things in, so you just want to make sure that you're you know, you don't miss a piece or something, and you just it's so annoying when you miss like a piece or something that's supposed to be welded and you're just like, what's going on? Why is my weld not working? Well, it's probably because you missed a point or two. So important, and you know, the way to check that, once again, edit poly to see what worked and what didn't, and we're missing some pieces right up here. So you guys know the drill. You just weld, you know, you guys didn't know you'd be doing manual labor in 3D modeling class? Well, you're welding things together now. Alright, so maybe these, I don't know what, let's hit 3 on the keyboard. Okay, that should be good. It's one continuous line. Yeah, that should all be good. Alright. So now let's just cut this out. I'm going to cut this guy as well, and then I'm just going to attach these guys together. So there's one thing, and it's not two separate things, and we're we're dealing with the same thing. Right? So just like that, we've created that little etchy piece, and you know, for something like that, we can use it for different cool things. Like, if we want to do like a presentation, we can have some of these things floating around and glowing and stuff like that, and you know, drawing little pieces out and sketching it out in 3D sometimes is helpful. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes, you know, depending on the project, hey, we need this little label. You might, you know, take yourself into Photoshop, get it done in Photoshop, and you'll be good. You know. But sometimes it's fun to, you know, actually draw out some of this stuff and use these as 3D elements as part of the design as well. So never underestimate that. So the next thing I want to do is I want to address this little tribal thing that's kind of on this piece of wood here. So let us select this guy where I hit Alt Q, and that what that does is it isolates it. You guys probably know that by now, but I'll still repeat it till Kingdom Come. So and I've isolated my my cylinder here that's going to act as the handle, so to speak, and you know, this is pretty much the design that we have for it. So it's got some kind of cool, wavy, tribalistic kind of like design. So, all right. So I'm gonna attempt to do this a few different ways. I'm gonna shift drag this, make this a copy, increase the size to about 24, and then I'm gonna throw an edit poly modifier on this bad boy, and I just want to, you know, test some stuff out. So the first way that, you know, probably the easiest first way to do this would be to draw on the topology itself. So let's see what generate topology will do for us. No, there's really no squigglies it'll do. Whoa, that's horrid. See, it's like chaos here, skin. No. Yeah, this isn't going to generate the type of topology we want. So we might just have to draw it on ourselves. And to do that, we can use our freeform modeling tools like I told you guys. And I'll probably just do the spline again because, you know, I showed you guys last time we can do the strips. And to activate this, you want to make sure you have, you know, right here it says grid. So if we painted or drew anything, it's going to draw it on a grid. But what I want to do is I want to make sure I'm drawing on the surface. So I'm just going to pick this surface right here, cylinder 2009, and I can, you know, draw my spline on there. But yeah, like I was saying, you know, we can draw them as topology, right? We can do that, but I think the spline honestly gives us another level of editing that we wouldn't be able to do with the strips, because it's a little harder to edit polygon strips than it is to edit the splines and those verts. So I'm probably just going to opt for using the spline, and you guys can use whichever method you prefer, whichever you think works best for you. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start drawing my spline, trying to mimic what they've got going on here. Actually, what I'm going to do is, instead of drawing on this surface, I've got my cylinder here. Let's see. I'm going to pick this one. And then now I can draw on this guy. All right. So I'm going to use this guy as my, like, it's like an anchor, right? And then whenever, I'll just pick this surface. So now I can draw my spline right on this surface. So if I hit Alt X on this guy and I go into the front view, I can see what's going on, right? Go back into this guy now in my spline view, right? I can see So it's got like one spline that goes this way, another one that goes this way underneath, like so. Let's just go, you know. And then one that goes this way. And I'm using my imagination now. Well, not now. I'm going to use my imagination at the end of this, right, to kind of imagine what's going on the other side, you know? So, and then this one kind of goes over the top like so. And then this guy is kind of like so. And then there's like a big kind of this thing on the top of it. So what what I might do is just maybe see if I can find some more references to see if I can find kind of like a top of it to see if, you know, maybe that'll help me make the decisions that I need to make for those parts. So what I'm gonna do is just gonna look for some references, because I don't know all of it. You know, I can tell you guys to draw your hand right now, and without looking at it, and you would do a terrible job, and it's your own hand. So it's always important to use references whenever you're modeling anything. So I'm just going to go into my reference gathering and try to find the top of our little room piece here. Okay, it's a little different. Sorry if I'm quiet, I'm trying to quickly look through this reference to see if I see anything that will assist us on our quest. Okay, no, the closest I see is there's like a front view of it. So between this view and the back. Let's do it. Let's unhide all. Alright. So what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to select this guy, shift drag, make it a copy. I'm actually going to rotate this guy 180 this way. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to unfreeze all, hide selection, and this way I'm gonna be able to draw on the other side. So I'm gonna hit V on my keyboard, go to back, and then this is our front. So now I know. So now I'm just gonna draw, and what I did. It'll seem complicated, but it's really not. Because now all I'm doing is now drawing on the other side. Right? And then I know this piece goes this way. And then this piece that, you know, like that. And now I know this piece goes like this. And then there's a piece like so. And then this piece. So now I've got an idea using my spline of what both of these sides have to offer. And now all I would need to do is let's hide this guy. Hide this guy. So now I've got all my splines ready to go. I'm actually going to go ahead and attach them. I'm missing. Actually, let's unhide all. And I'm gonna actually because what I don't have right now is how they connect. So we're probably going to gonna need to address that. So to address that, I've got both of my sides kind of made already. So now all I want to do is go back in here, and then using the spline tool, we're gonna draw ourselves the connections between these, and this will be the third. Whoops, spline. Auxiliary. Oh, it's not letting me draw. It's open. Okay. Is it drawing somewhere that I don't see it? Alright, well, if you don't want to let me use you anymore, maybe I'll... I don't know what is missing, but I'll just convert this to an editable poly and draw directly on it. Alright, yeah, that'll work. Well, that'll work. Alright, so now I can safely just kind of draw my splines now. So I'm just going to draw this guy to this guy like so. This guy will connect with this guy. Maybe this guy will connect with this guy. And this guy has to connect with this guy somehow. Then this guy has to connect with that guy somehow. And then maybe these guys are just connect together. Alright. So we've created our third layer of splines. Maybe we need one more, because we need to connect some of these. So let's do that. Just gonna boop. You know, I'm adding a little flair to it. It doesn't have to be as, you know, fanciful as mine is. Let me see. Because what I'm trying to figure out is where some of these can terminate or go, or, you know. Maybe this one can go in here somehow. Alright. So now let's attach all of these together. Okay. Just gonna attach these guys. Boom. Boom, like so. And then I'm just going to go through my process of, you know, just selecting the guys that need to be welded together and then welding them. So let's actually turn these off, and then, you know, I'm going to go through the process of probably going to increase my tolerance here, my threshold, and just, you know, Just start welding these guys together wherever they need to be welded. Weld. We had 2. Let's delete that. And 1 weld. All that. I'm gonna hit 3 on the keyboard. I'm gonna delete the extra stuff. Nope, that's not the extra stuff. Just gonna delete these guys. And I can create a line. I'm going to use the vertex snapping tool to select snap from that, weld to that vert. Like so. Oops, W. Let's pull that out a little bit. These guys still aren't welded, so we'll do the owners. Just gonna select this guy, delete that. So anything that's like extra kind of hanging around and doesn't really belong, I'm kind of getting rid of. Just gonna delete this. Weld, weld. So I've got a lot of errant verts here, so you know, most of this will be spent just kind of cleaning a lot of this stuff up and making sure that this flows together. So I'll hit 3 again, Control Alt. I'm trying to see if there's a Alright, yeah, so we're just gonna have to throw a normalized spline on top. And as you can see, it does a great job of normalizing our spline for us. Let's just show the knot count. So it's saying that that's all the knots we want. We don't. We want to show the knot count, increase that that knot count there, and I'm gonna use let's do a simple interpolation. Right. So the goal is to, get as close to a decent shape as possible, because we've got a lot of space in between some of these. So our job is going to be to clean up a lot of that stuff. So that's probably where we're gonna end for today and pick up next class, is, you know, just finishing cleaning up some of this so that we can finish up with our tribal stuff. And all we'll need to do is throw like a quad cap on it or something, and you know, we'll start to get that shape, right? So it's not going to take too much for us to get it to this level, right? We're almost there. So yeah, that's what we're going to pick up next class, is finishing up our little tribal detail here, and really pushing this guy to the next level. All right. Once again, you know, I appreciate you guys for showing up. I mean, I know it's, you know, it's not easy. You guys have your own schedule and stuff. So I'm serious. I really appreciate you guys showing up and watching these videos, and even, you know, just coming to class. You know, it's something that I don't take for granted. I hope you guys don't take this, you know, your appreciation for this for granted as well. So thank you very much. If you guys have any questions for me, if you guys don't have any questions for me, you guys are free to go. If you guys have any questions for me, you can stay, and I will, you know, be more than welcome to answer those questions for you.